because you won't want to miss a single story on the Out of the Norm Show every Sunday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, right here on Rural TV, television for a growing world. Hi, welcome to another version of the Out of the Norm Show. We're certainly glad you're with us because we're going to have a very, very special day today in a special place with a special man. If you've wondered what the Florida Seminoles were going to do this, the wrong Bowden, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm kin to him or not, but he kind of looks like some of my family members.
Well, we're going to find that and a whole lot more from Richard Bowden in just a little while right here on the Out of the Norm Show. So don't you dare go away. There's good stuff coming your way on the Out of the Norm Show where the stories are all about you.
It's the Out of the Norm Show, where the stories are all about you, with author, musician, radio and television personality, and all-around nice guy, your host, Norm Allen.
Hi, welcome back to the Out of the Norm Show. I want to introduce you to a gentleman that I have seen so many times in this room over the last 40 years, even though he probably didn't know it. But Mr. Richard Bowden, and he's a musical legend in East Texas and a musical legend all over the world for one reason or the other, right?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of reasons people will have found out about me.
Well, by the way, we're here in Linden, Texas at a place called the Music City Theater, right?
Music City, Texas Theater.
Music City, Texas Theater. We got to make sure we get that.
Got to get Texas in there because Music City is Nashville. Music City, Texas is Linden, Texas.
So designated by?
Yes, the state.
The state? Oh,
yeah,
the state designation.
The state designated that. It's our official nickname, yeah.
But this gorgeous building that we're in, this isn't the way it always looked, is it?
No, it's not. And if you remember 40 years ago,
yeah,
when we were still in high school,
right,
we used to have dances out here almost every weekend, and it was just a little square box. I think it was painted green, kind of, and
I remember that.
And we all had 100-watt Marshalls, and it just blister your ears.
And it was the American Legion Hall.
That's right, built in '48 to 50. Took them 2 years to build. In fact, back in the office when we were remodeling the place, we found one of the old bonds that they issued. It's got my dad's signature on it with whoever else was mayor at the time. It was a $25 bond, and they issued these to build this place knowing that they would never pay them back. It just kind of was understood, and we found that one and framed it and put it in the office.
What a great memento to have.
I know it. It was really cool. I hadn't ever seen one until.
So after all those years, though, I mean, we're talking late 60s, early 70s when all the sock hops were going on after the football games and all of that on the Fridays. But the building has gone through a huge transformation now. Tell me a little bit about how all that came to be.
Well, when I left Linden, they were hardly using it anymore. As a matter of fact, shortly after I left to go to California, I heard that they had turned the place into a blue jeans factory. And it was a blue jeans factory for about 10 years, from what I understand, and then it became a church. Well, actually, it's been like 2 or 3 different churches that would last a year or two and then move on. And the reason the town quit using it as a civic auditorium is because a lady who grew up here, and her husband made tons of money. She moved back after he passed away and became sort of a benefactor to the town. And she built a 500-seat auditorium at the high school. So they kind of quit using this, and it was starting to go downhill. Actually, we had to repair a sizable leak in the roof, and then we tore the sheetrock off the ceiling. And I don't know if you got a shot of these beams, but
beautiful.
Get one before you leave.
Sure.
Yeah, those were covered up since 1950. Nobody knew that that structure was up there.
And that's what really gives this room such a great acoustic value.
When we got that sheetrock out and opened that ceiling up, man, the acoustics they're nearly perfect. Oh, Michael Martin Murphy did a live solo acoustic album here, and he said, man, the acoustics here are better than Carnegie Hall. And it's known for its acoustics.
Sure.
Yeah, so, and then we sandblasted the walls and just did all kind of things to make it look, give it a nice warm atmosphere.
What brought about the change, though? Is there a group of people that got together to do this, or just a group of citizens, or how did all that happen?
Well, what happened was the Economic Development Corporation formed this nonprofit organization called Music City, Texas Incorporated, and I had heard about it just about the time I was getting ready to move back here from Nashville. In fact, my mom was on the board of directors, and so I came on back, and this organization was designed, or conceived, I might say, to help us boost tourism, playing upon our musical heritage, which goes way back to Gene Autry's band, the Cass County Boys. Scott Joplin was born here.
Did the Entertainer.
Yeah, did the
Right.
King of Ragtime, and he went from here to Texarkana and then north to St. Louis, where they got where they got freeways named after him. And then T-Bone Walker was born out the highway here a little ways in the Bear Creek area, and of course he's the daddy of the blues, was the guy that introduced electric guitar to blues. And then later on, of course, we have Don Henley, who plays in a little band you might have heard of called the Eagles. He just happened to sell more records than anybody else in the 20th century.
And you have a lot of close personal ties to that group.
Oh,
from
yes.
the early days.
Yeah, well, Don was in the band that we all kind of started in high school.
The Four Speeds.
The Four Speeds. Later on, right before we left for Los Angeles, we changed the name to Shiloh. And we
Now, wasn't there a Felicity also?
Yeah, that was in an interim name. We found it means happiness, and
And the happiness was that
We
you
were-
guys weren't working at Lone Star Steel during the summers.
yeah, we were real happy that we weren't working at the steel mill.
But
Yeah.
Shiloh, that was kind of the beginning of the beginning, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, the big time, it really was. When we were Felicity, we had a little state championship trumpet player who also played keyboards, and he met an untimely death in a motorcycle accident. And so we added a steel guitar player named Al Perkins, who we found clubbing in Dallas, and also a keyboard player that we had met at North Texas State named Jim Ed Norman.
Oh, shucks.
He eventually became the head of Warner Brothers Nashville. And that's when we changed our name to Shiloh and went to California.
Now, that first time when Shiloh, you guys did the album, and I've seen it on eBay and places like that. It's a real collectible.
Oh, it is, yeah.
It's a big collectible.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the beginning of that early Eagles type sound.
It was. In fact, to me, the Shiloh album sounds like an Eagles rehearsal. Well, because Don did a lot of our lead singing, and he sounded then like he does now. And and we were sort of getting in there with those people who were pioneering country rock, or blending it, like the Byrds, the Flying Burrito Brothers, Crosby, Stills and Nash, and that bunch. So we jumped in there because we all had country roots growing up in East Texas. I still love George Jones, Merle Haggard, and all those guys.
Sure.
But I like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and those guys too. So we kind of helped put some of that together.
Coming back from California at the end of that part of your personal career, you went through a lot of changes, though, from that period for quite a while, didn't you?
Well, yeah. When Shiloh broke up to get out of our management deal, Don and myself and my cousin, who was our bass player, we got a job backing up Linda Ronstadt. And if you can see, I've got a few gold albums on the wall out here.
So were you the Stone Pony? Or Stone?
No, she had put the Stone Ponies to bed and was just making records as Linda Ronstadt.
Okay.
And she needed a backup band, so there we were. And in fact, we used to do some of her songs. So that worked out perfect. And then the other guy in her backup band was Glenn Fry, who's Don's partner in the Eagles.
Right.
That's where we all met. They were on the same label as Shiloh. His act, Long Branch Penny Whistle, was him and J.D. Souther. And Shiloh, we were on Amos Records, and that's how we all met up. And anyway, they split to do the Eagles. I stayed with Ronstadt a couple more years, and then I got with McGuinn, Roger McGuinn from the Byrds.
Right.
And we toured a couple of years and did one album, and then I got with Dan Fogelberg for a couple of years. And then I started another band called Blue Steel, and we were the opening act for the Eagles' Long Run tour in 1980. And when that was over, our record company went belly up, so we kind of spread out, and I ended up doing a couple of tours with the Burrito Brothers, and they had just gone full country and was starting to move to Nashville. And well, I decided, I've had plenty of LA, I'll go to Nashville. And I met, when I first got there, I met this songwriter, Sandy Pinker, who had written Coca-Cola Cowboy, You're the Reason God Made Oklahoma, and Blessed Are the Believers, a handful of #1 country songs. And I met him, and we started hanging out, and we just kind of accidentally started a comedy duo that lasted 16 years.
I want to talk a little more about the theater, but we got to take a quick break.
Okay.
Hey, we're going to be right back with more good stuff from music history right here in Music City Texas Theater.
You got it.
Got it? I should know that. I've been in this room too long. Hey, we'll be right back after a quick break on the Out of the Norm show, so don't go away. There's more good stuff. We'll be right back.
The Out of the Norm show, where the stories are all about you. We'll be right back after this.
Hey, back to Out of the Norm show. Glad you're with us here in Linden, Texas. It's a little place in northeast Texas up in the pine trees, and I'm with one of the native sons here that he's a legend in his own time as well as a legend for all of us, and a real role model for all of us musicians from East Texas. Should I keep that going now, Richard?
Well, yeah, you can.
It's Richard Bowden. You know, he's a great guy, and he's in charge of a wonderful place here, the Music City Texas Theater.
You got it.
And it's just a great place in Linden. I want to talk about that now.
Okay.
You mentioned Jackson Brown and some of those guys coming,
Right.
but this is really a venue for locals as well, isn't it?
Well, yeah, we have little talent shows here, and of course the Lions Club, where I got started as a performer. Every year they have their big Lions Follies, and it's all local people that come out and perform. There's a lot of talent in Linden, and always has been.
Now, if you want to find out about how to get in touch or how to take a look at the calendar for the theater, where do we go?
Just go to musiccitytexas.org, O-R-G, because we're a nonprofit organization.
That'll be right here on the screen.
Donations are tax deductible. Even a portion of ticket prices are tax deductible because of our nonprofit status. And just go there, look at the calendar, and get in the car and come on out.
All right, that's where we want you to go. Just check it up on the internet. You'll see it, musiccitytexas.org. And see what's going on. Come be a part of it. Well, thanks so much for the time.
I appreciate it.
I'm sorry we didn't have a few hours to embellish on these stories, because I know you've got more war stories.
Well, I could sit here for 2 or 3 days probably.
But it is a family show, so some of those stories.
Yeah, there's some I couldn't tell, that's for sure.
Hey, we're going to be back in just a few minutes with more of the Out of the Norm show. Thanking Richard Bowden and all of our friends here at the Music City Texas Theater. I think you're going to really enjoy it. You know, every town has their people who are gifted and talented. Everybody has something to offer that's going to embellish and make their lifestyle a lot better. And here in Linden, Texas, that's been exploited in a very positive way. There's a song in the heart, deep in the Texas heart, right here in Linden, Texas. So we hope you'll come and join them. If you're coming around through Texarkana, heading to Dallas, make a little stop. Just come and walk around, even if there's not an event. I think you'll love this little town of Linden. It has a great history and a great passion for good lifestyle. We hope you'll join us again real soon on another Out of the Norm show. I'm going to be back shortly, but in the meantime, don't forget, the stories are all about you. We'll be right back.
The Out of the Norm Show, where the stories are all about you. We'll be right back after this.
I'm just a pilgrim on this road, boy. I'm just a pilgrim on this road, boy. I'm just a pilgrim on this road, boy. It ain't never been my home. Sometimes the road was rocky along the way, boy. Sometimes the road was rocky along the way, boy. Sometimes the road was rocky along the way, boy. But I was never traveling alone. Now we'll meet again on some bright highway. Songs to sing and tales to tell. I'm just a pilgrim on this road, boy, till I see you fare thee well.
Welcome back to the Out of the Norm show. I'm with a guy right now that if you ever want to go camping on Pruitt's Lake, don't go with this guy.
Or this guy, I promise you.
This is Mr. John Early, who is the founder and the lead singer and guitar player for one of the best bluegrass bands in America called Hickory Hill.
Oh, thank you, Norman. Thank you, sir.
Hickory Hill. Now, how did that start, the name get, or not the name, but how did the group get together?
The group got together about 3 years ago, and me and Roland Foster, another guy we all grew up with, and we started it back with a friend of ours from Tyler, Texas, Ronnie Singley, and about 33 years ago. And the way we got our name is, me and Roland were from Avenger, Texas, and Avenger, way back before the train came through, was called Hickory Hill. So we decided to name our band Hickory Hill.
But the band has changed personnel through the years a few times, hasn't
Yes, it has. We've lost 2 members, through the years, and our Ronnie, one of the original members, has kind of retired from the band about 11 years ago. Donnie's retired from us for about 3 or 4 years ago, our original banjo player. So now it's me and Bob Stegall are actually the 2 main original ones there that's left. And I have Milo Deering plays fiddle and mandolin and dobro and anything else that he wants to play. And Michael Morrison is on guitar and mandolin, and Wes Perry plays mandolin and banjo.
Wow, and the fiddle player.
The fiddle player, yeah.
Yeah.
Milo Deering.
Milo Deering.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure I get everybody's name in there. Hickory Hill has taken a lot of turns. You've been all over the country playing, haven't you?
Yes, we have, yeah. And we've never been a full-time band. We never set out to be and never really wanted to be. You know, we started it just as a hobby. I started it as a hobby to get me out of the honky-tonks, you know, from playing music in the honky-tonks. So, and it's just really has just, you know, developed into what it is. We're recorded 9 albums, I believe, you know.
Wow.
And through the years. And
what's your current album?
our current one is called Old School, and it's, you know, not real new. I'm not sure what year it was. Maybe 2009 was when we recorded it. But I'm getting ready. I've got got kind of new personnel right now with Milo and Michael, and so we're really working right now to try to put out a new CD as quick as we can. I don't know when that'll be.
Now, if you want to find out about Hickory Hill's schedule and also be able to get some of their material, all they need to do is go to the website.
That's right, hickoryhillband.com. You have to put band on there.
hickoryhillband.com.
That's
Don't
right.
forget. And you can find out the schedule, and they may be in your area. If not, you can catch them right here in East Texas at the Texas
Music City, Texas Theater. Right, exactly.
I get that right eventually. I get it right. What did that do to the band and also for you? Because you have a huge relationship with this theater.
Sure. You talking about the theater itself?
Right.
Yeah. It just means I'm on the board of directors here at the theater also with, and of course Richard, I think you met him, and it's just actually we're all a bunch of musicians really on the board of directors, and it just, you know, means the world to us. It's one of the greatest places in Northeast Texas for sure to come and perform. All the performers just love it. We try to treat them like they'd be treated if they were at Carnegie Hall, you know. So
well, and I think it's better than most places in Texas.
It really is. It really is. I know I was sitting up front when Hal Ketchum came in for the very first time. He walked in with a guitar on his back, and he just stood there and looked around, and he said, "Rarely you find a gem, but I think I found one." And he's been here many times. Hal's a great guy.
And we
good
want
friend.
people to really keep up with what's going on at the theater because there's things going on year round, isn't there?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah, we don't have anything set. We have a couple of things that are like my bluegrass show. I do 2 a year, one in February and one in August.
Right.
We're on the one in August right now. So,
right.
And then the other stuff, just we get what we can get, you know, and do what we can do.
Well, it's great stuff. It's great stuff. It's come a long way since the days of the purple cigar.
Oh, I didn't think you would remember that.
Oh, for you who don't know what that is, that was the band and they used to put a parachute over the roof in the Avenger Fire Department with the
That's
band,
true.
Purple Cigar playing underneath it and played. They knew 7 songs in 5 different keys.
There you go. But we just play them over and over and over.
Oh, we danced our legs off.
Oh, boy.
Well, John, it's great not only to see you as a friend, but it's great to have you on the show and introduce you to the rest of the country.
Thank you, Norm.
We're going to be talking about Hickory Hill for a long time, and I know there's a lot of you who are bluegrass fans.
Oh, yeah.
You see it all over the United States, but let me tell you, this little pocket in Northeast Texas is a place to be noticed, and because of a great band like Hickory Hill. And I hope you will go to hickoryhillband.com. hickoryhillband.com and check out, see what their schedule's going to be like. You know, that's about it for me. I think we're going to get off stage here and get ready to listen to you guys.
We're about ready to go.
And it's good having you.
Same
here.
here.
We want to tell you, thanks again for joining us on the Out of the Norm show and this little visit to Linden, Texas. Again, it's not just a little mecca for all of us hometown folks, but it's a place that you will enjoy the people, you'll enjoy the food, and I guarantee you'll love the music. So join us again very soon on another Out of the Norm show where I'll be with you in some people, places, things, and events around the United States. Who knows, it could be your hometown because the story's all about you. We'll see you again soon on another Out of the Norm show. Like loving the South and me just loving you. You can't go apart from things that are so dear and true. Like loving the South and me just loving you. Riding an elephant at a sanctuary, making baseball bats, visiting some of the greatest museums in the country, or just interviews about people, places, things, and events from all across America. That's what you'll find on the Out of the Norm show, where the stories are all about you. Check us out Sundays, 12 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Central, right here on Rural TV, television for a growing world.